And we are live. Welcome back to the Wanna Parlay podcast. I'm Lantz. Next to me is Jack Neuheisel. Jack, go ahead and tell the folks about Wanna Parlay, who sponsors this podcast.
Yeah, of course, Lance, but real quick, just to knock this part of the show out off the top real quick. Got some bad, you and me are a couple of California guys. We got some bad fires whipping through the LA area. We go through fire season kind of all the time in California, and usually, thankfully, it's not nearly as destructive. And all of a sudden you turn around 2 days into this thing, and I've got 4 or 5 friends who have lost their family houses and all sorts of bad shit. So thoughts and prayers, obviously, condolences across the board with you. And with that being said, though, Lance, it's a horrible transition, but we do have 5 straight days of playoff college and NFL football. So, God damn it, we got to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Just bring some levity to the moment. This is the Wanna Parlay podcast. The show is brought to you by Wanna Parlay, home of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay, where every day people are turning $2 into $2,000 and walking out the door. We are at the midway point of our Wanna week. When we checked in after Monday night, we already had multiple users already up well over $1,000, I should say. And the money just continues to flow. Shout outs and praise to be awarded now. The money is on the way in transit. As always, we start with the pick'ems. Nobody from the pick 7, pick 6 early in the week. People are struggling with the transition of basketball. It's going to be interesting. But pick 5, who's back? It's long legs, another 250. I might just stop saying your name, man. It's just hurting everyone else's feelings. We had Kate on earlier this week. Awesome talking to him, one of our all-time favorite guys. And then 15 Sharp 15. First time I'm saying his name, wins 250 last night on the pick 5. So way to go, Sharpie. Pick 4, Kendall Jane 6 wins 200. Which makes her now at 460 already in 2025, really just the last 4 days. So go off, Kendall. I texted you about doing an interview. I'm yet to hear back from you. It's not your fault. Most women respond this way to my text messages, so I get it. Parlay Royale, long legs, wins another $1,000, starting to roll. Viviana, come on the show. I gave Kendall Jane some space. I'm not giving you any space. Quit ducking us. Come on the show. Main event. Maria Trail 5, another, I think this is actually a dude, but I've been calling it Maria, also ducking me in the interview game. Still hanging in there with 78.32. I'm rooting for you. But people, Lance and I have been around this contest since the beginning. That number is very gettable. 10 tries to go after that thing costs you $20. If you're a first-time user at Wanna, that costs you 10, and the deposit match gets you to 20. And that's a chance to win $2K. That's a hell of a way to start your January. You're not drinking right now, but you're still watching these games. You need a little juice to get you through it. Well, playing for $2,000 will do that for you. Get some parlays out at Wanna Parlay. And then before we get on the show, another special reminder from our guy KG at Little Joe's in Chicago. This February 10th from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. If you're in the Chicago area or possibly just in the United States at all, Hawaii and Alaska included, get your ass to Little Joe's, where Wanna will be co-sponsoring the Drop Takeover. It is back and bigger than ever. Arthur and Bob are behind the bar pouring drinks and swapping stories. KG is in the kitchen whipping up his famous jambalaya beef sandwiches and those insane Taylor Street sliders. Get there, download Wanna Parlay, win some money, drink some El Bandito Yankee tequila, have a slider and 9 of them. Thank you, Kev. We will see you there. Lanny, let's do the podcast, babe.
Let's go. Yeah, real quick. The fires, horrible situation. I know you went in and kind of dove into the intro, but all I want to say is vote for a better governor. There's definitely, quite literally, anyone is better than this guy we got in, Newsom. He's awful. I just wanted to say that. Just wanted to give him a little bash because he's dog shit. But all right, let's go. Let's keep moving. So
he was amongst the flames, Lance.
No, why we are so unprepared is all his fault. I could go into a live thing, but this is not a political show. If anyone has interest and wants me to go on a political rant, you can DM me on Instagram. I'll give you a great voice memo. I'll give you one of the best. Yeah, but going in, I'm gonna start off accountability hour because I'm pissed off on what transpired in my parlay. So it was Lakers moneyline at Mavs and Hawks moneyline at Jazz. Hawks moneyline at Jazz hit on the craziest Trae Young full court, damn near buzzer beater. So that was obviously lucky, but the Lakers with no Luka, no Kyrie. I didn't know this was a thing, but a prime Spencer Dinwiddie out here just balling, running the offense like he's Luka. It's one of those games where you just have no effort. And it's just pathetic. And it's like we're just going through the motions. And then we finally start getting to the fourth quarter. It's like, oh, now we're going to try. And it's like you're playing this catch-up game that's just never going to work out. And you lose, you sell my parlay, you just make me angry because I just want the Lakers to win. All around bad stuff. 1-1 on the picks, 0-1 on the parlay. And there's my accountability hour, Jack. Go ahead.
Well, real quick, it's a bummer because we just spent that show talking about why the Lakers are getting ready to make their move. Dorian Finney-Smith's starting to look good. You're playing a Mavs team without anybody that matters, and all of a sudden it's a Bronny James game. I was shocked I didn't get a text from KG rubbing that in our faces. Hawks won. That was fun.
Oh wait, there is KG in chat. Sorry. What's up, gents? Notre Dame, let's fucking go. Only thing that scares me, the Notre Dame locker has a flu bug, and a bunch of players are sick.
Doesn't bother me at all.
Doesn't bother him at all. It's the Fighting Irish. It ain't no pussy Irish. It's the Fighting Irish. Come on, KG.
Okay, my accountability hour. I cruised, dude. I went 2-0. I had some easy ones out there. One, I couldn't get my own money out there because it violates everything I stand for. I don't bet against my ponies. But North Carolina -6.5 versus SMU. It was so easy it hurts. There was a point, Lance, with 8 minutes left in the game. SMU was yet to score on back-to-back possessions. The commentating crew spent like 4 minutes talking about it. They're like, this is not that bad of a team. Like, we thought we were going to get a game. It was like, it's not about the numbers, fellas. It's about the players sometimes. And I live and die with these guys. And this was just too big of a stage. We got boat raced by Duke by like 27 the other night. Then you want us to go into the Dean Dome and get right against another blue blood in the ACC. So bad deal. Hope they get right against Georgia Tech. I will say this for the ponies going forward and looking to bet on them going forward. They're coming from a world where they had to win the American to get into March Madness. And now, really, you just have to be in the top 10 in the ACC to get to the dance. So hopefully that's an attainable bar, and hopefully they get right against Georgia Tech over the weekend. Michigan +2.5 at UCLA. Weird game because this game was going on right when the fires really started to get out of control. And so all of a sudden, I thought this game might get canceled midway through the second half just to get everyone evacuated. And thankfully, one, Westwood's the evacuation center, so that wouldn't have ever happened. But two, thank God, because I had a lot of money on this game. I had no exposure on the North Carolina game, so I needed to get my juice. I slingshot it big on Michigan +2.5, and I got exactly what we talked about. Lance Vladislav Golden goes for 36. Danny Wolf balls. It was easy money. Mick Cronin, did you see that? Kind of had a weird press conference after the game.
Oh yeah, he was laying into his players. I don't get it. I didn't watch the game, so I don't know enough. But I'm like, I don't know how much as a college coach, especially college coach, you're coaching 19-year-olds. He kind of, went after him, but maybe he's that tough coach. That's who he is. I don't know, but I was like, that was a little bit of a interesting, weird press conference for me. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah. To give him some space, I think old school coaching is under too much fire. I think like right now you're going to see the pendulum swing back in the NFL because Dan Campbell's succeeding. That like Vrabel and Belichick are the names you're hearing. Mm-hmm. That's like Ben Johnson, of course, but like it's not just this run of offensive coordinators really. Mm-hmm. So like I think old school coaching has its place and stuff like that. And I should also say I attack this as a football coach where you have way less games. And so like these moments, like in an NBA or like a college basketball season when you're playing 40 games, like I do wonder if this is a little bit more commonplace because you're going through these constant swings through the games and cycle. And you can like, sometimes I guess you can push back against your team a little bit and try to get the best out of them later in the season. Whereas in football, you can't spend a week having locker room problems because if you lose, you're fucked for your postseason race. So with all that being said, though, I can't play for that. I hate that. It sucks. I'm good with calling out the team. But you start naming individual players and calling out their individual effort, all these guys you handpicked and placed on the team in the transfer portal era, you either recruited them out of high school or tracked them down and called them and got them out of the transfer portal. And now you've spent 6 months of an offseason with them. You're well into this season. If you don't like the product that's going on, look in the mirror, pal.
Man, that's...
He's a sensitive guy. He was at Cincinnati when I was a student at SMU, and he penned a letter to the athletic director and to the university president saying how inappropriate our student section was to him. But he's a sensitive little guy.
Yeah, he's sensitive. He's got a bald head and a nice little shine going on there. But yeah, you can't do. Don't get me wrong. If you're a coach, you can rip your team talking about the team everyone's a team. You can rip them 7 ways to Sunday. You can say what. Once he was individually like queuing out people, I'm like, and you lost me. This isn't that. There's no class there. That's not what we do here. That's not good coaching.
Yeah, so that to me is not a get right moment. I might see some UCLA taking a couple games to get normal again. I'm looking to fade UCLA in the coming games. Keep an eye on them.
Why not?
Keep people posted.
Why not?
But we're not. We got 5 straight games of 5 straight days of playoff football, Lance. We got to start talking playoff football.
Yep. This is why we're here. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start NFL or college?
I want to start college just because that's the game we got going tonight.
Yep.
I'll spend more time on the game tonight than I will tomorrow's Texas-Ohio State game. But I'm flip-flopped again, Lance, and I've got so many notes down because I need to justify why I've done this. So you battle back, cut me off literally whenever you want.
No, you're good. I'm ready. I'm listening.
Okay. Here are my picks now going into the game. I'm going Notre Dame -1, and I'm not actually betting that. I'm betting the money line.
I think I've seen the line right now is at Penn State -1.
You saw it cross the 0?
I just saw it. I see it on the app. Yeah, the app I use right now. Penn State's -0 or -1.
Okay, because on Wana it's still -1, and on ESPN I've seen it get to a pick 'em, but I still see -1 on most books. If it crossed the 0, because here's what I was gonna say. Okay. I basically was all in on Penn State when we talked on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, James Franklin press conference bugged the shit out of me. And I just don't want another 2 weeks of James Franklin media days. And then I also saw, dude, the video of the Notre Dame offensive line talking before the Georgia game, just getting absolutely psyched. It literally is the first time I've missed playing football in 10 years. Just fucking, it's us against them. It's our culture versus their. It's fucking just got me ready to go through a wall. So all of a sudden I'm like, well, fuck, I want Notre Dame to win this game. So now I've created this whole defense as to why it's going. But I should say the numbers and the wise guys of the gambling world really like Penn State tonight. The money in Vegas is on, has all been coming in on Notre Dame. Yet the line's been trending towards Penn State, which usually is an easy lock bet indicator. This is how I ended up getting Navy over Army, because all of a sudden the money was coming to Army and the line was going towards Navy. It didn't make any sense. I just felt like getting on Vegas's team. So everyone should be aware of that. You should probably go with Vegas and not me. But if you're going with me, here's why. Okay, Lance, Notre Dame, one, far more likable. I want to spend more time with that. I appreciate the matchup going into it. Here's some of the problems they've got to overcome, and I'll explain why they're going to. Facing Penn State's defense, first of all, which is the strength of Penn State, obviously. They've never gotten a running game, or nobody's gotten a running game or quick screen game going against them once in the back half of the year. And really, if you go through the whole season, not really anyone's been able to do it all year, including Ohio State when they beat them on the play. Oregon a little bit, but they've really more than anything did that through the air. Abdul Carter's playing, but potentially limited. It's going to be interesting to see how they use him, Lance. When he's on the field, completion percentages go way down. Sack rate goes up to like 46%. And the rushing yards go from an average of like 2.5 versus when he's off the field to like 4.6. So it's going to be, originally I was like, I wonder if he's just going to be a third down specialist tonight, but he really affects the run game. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And then you go back and look through Notre Dame. Riley Leonard rushed for 80 against Georgia. But outside of him, if you take Love and Price combined, they had 56 yards on 16 carries. And then you look at pass protection, you're shopping Abdul Carter and Amon Vanover. Finally learned his name, by the way. And Riley Leonard's looked kind of average versus pressure. And I looked up this little fun stat. They've been amongst the worst teams all year versus man coverage single high, which is the coverage you're going to get in most of the time. You're going to draw up pressures. So there's issues there as well. And then facing Penn State offense is as simple as can you stop Tyler Warren and get off the field on third down? Because third and fourth down especially, they've been the best in the country. So with all that being said, that's a lot of why this bet sucks. But here's why Notre Dame's going to win. Notre Dame defense is far and away the most talented and most best coached team Penn State has played all year, with the exception of maybe Ohio State. And that's a team they scored just 13 on in a big-time game, must-win in Happy Valley massive spot. They scored just 13 against that team. You revisit Penn State during the playoffs. SMU got off the field every time until midway through the second. It came off the pick sixes because Kevin Jennings absolutely shit down his leg. But outside of that, SMU's defense was getting off the field every time until midway through the second. Even then, really only gave up 24 offensive points in the game, in a game that by that point was already lopsided, and it was like, what are you playing for? Boise State gets off to a bad start. They scored twice early, but from the late first quarter into the late fourth, 4 minutes left in the fourth, they held them to 10 points in that window. And if they don't miss the 2 field goals, we're looking at a very different fourth quarter and possibly a very different outcome. So I'm not super bothered by this Penn State team. And I also think Notre Dame offense is finally getting right. I think they pitched the perfect game against Georgia. Not a ton of yards, but in terms of like winning plays, they made everything you needed to. You go back and look at Madsen versus Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl. He was able to make some big-time plays, and Riley Leonard just really looked poised as shit against Georgia. I expect him to do the same. My favorite bet of the night, Lance, I'm on Jordan Faison, number 6, the receiver for Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
His over-under right now is at 44.5. I took him at 50 at plus 120, and I also took the 100-yard game at plus 1,000. I think with the running issues, and they're going to sell out to stop the run, he's the baller, and he's going to be the guy that's going to be the difference maker of the game. He's the guy, Lance. He won a national championship in lacrosse. So he'd be the first male athlete to win back-to-back national championships in different sports.
That would be insane.
It'd be pretty baller.
That'd be pretty baller.
My last little note here, Penn State's special teams have been a little bit shaky all year. Notre Dame executed perfectly the first 2 weeks of this deal versus Indiana, and especially last week versus Georgia. So if this thing comes down and we got a fourth quarter game, I like the edge there for Notre Dame over Penn State. I've walked myself all the way over this. I'm looking at the plays Madsen made against their defense. I think Riley Leonard's going to be able to settle in and make plays, and I think Penn State's really going to struggle, 1, running the ball, but 2, Tyler Warren's been the guy to bail him out all year. And Notre Dame's coverage of tight ends, they have the best safety play in the country. So I don't know. I love the under. I'm under 45.5, and I'm taking Notre Dame money line. Short of that, I like Faison. If you can get a Riley Leonard carries number, I like that. I saw a 12.5 out there. Like taking the over there with some winning victory formation knees. And then Faison. And then Jeremiah Love, too. I just got a great report on his knee. And I went back and looked at the Georgia tape. I think Georgia's defense was just that stingy. I think Jeremiah Love's got a chance to be a decent contributor tonight. His over-under is only at 33.5. So you can go get Jeremiah Love. You expect him to have maybe one little better than 11-yard carry, and then everything else just kind of chipping away. Give him 12 carries. I like him to get 40-plus yards.
No, hey, that sounds great. I mean, Jeremiah Love having an over at 33, that seems pretty crazy to me. KG Little Joe's hopping in real quick. He says, yeah, it's Notre Dame plus 1.5 on Wana right now. Telling you people heard about the flu bug, but just checked, and yeah, Notre Dame plus 1.5 right now on Wana.
So when it crosses the 0, I would love to see the actual stat on it, but that's one of the locks in terms of those Vegas guys that like to look at the numbers and model have Excel sheets, and so that's troubling. But my die is cast. I placed my bets before we came on the show. Yeah,
I'm still on the same side as you. I mean, I've been on Irish all week. I still think it's Irish.
I'm the flip-flopper. You've been consistent.
No, hey, and we welcome you to this side because we're the winning side. We're the fighting Irish. And honestly, you just broke it down fucking great right there, Jack. Like, exactly what we need. I don't even know what I can add in because you just spelled it out for us. Hopefully, Leonard...
I took some time.
Yeah, no, I love it. But, God, yeah, it's just... You just hope Leonard and the Notre Dame offense doesn't get in trouble early. If they're doing dumb shit early, which, I haven't seen it, I don't expect it, but it's one of those, it's just like, please don't throw an early pick. Don't give them some advantage like Penn State. I feel like they keep getting those. So, yeah, I mean, I still love Notre Dame. Whatever the line is, money line, that's the easiest way to do it. And yeah, give me Notre Dame.
Lance, before we go to tomorrow night's game, will you check the waiting room really quick? I just got a text from our boy Ian, aka Doorman. I wonder if he's got some opinions on this take.
I got no one in the waiting room, but I will let you know.
Keep eyes on that. Doorman was the guy. He had a hot weekend, won himself over $1,000, won some money on Monday as well. He's excited to get him on the show today. So keep eyes on him on the waiting room.
Ooh, KG Little Joe in the chat goes, Leonard anytime touchdown and Aller over half an interception.
Ooh, Aller, I ask KG what the odds are on that bad boy, because Aller doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. If you're getting good juice on it, it's the best defense he's played all year outside of Ohio State. But short of that, you're asking him to do something he doesn't regularly do.
Yeah.
I don't like it at minus 110. I love it at plus 185.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, sweet. All right, well, there's Notre Dame, Penn State. You saw it, folks. We are Notre Dame. Come on. All right, should we hop into Ohio State, Texas?
Yeah, the flip-flopping for me doesn't stop, Lance. I'm staying on Ohio State money line. Ohio State's going to the national championship, but I'm going Texas cover because the spread is gigantic, and I'm going underball all day. It is the only locked bet on this thing. The number is 53.5. Lance, let me break that under down, and then you can talk about the game. Let me just talk underball here for a second, okay? Ohio State defense is ranked first across the board in most defensive metrics, most importantly, scoring. They're only allowing 12.1 points a game, which includes the playoff games against Tennessee and against Oregon. Texas is fourth in this stat in scoring, allowing just 14.5 points per game. How do they both accomplish this? Because Ohio State is also first in yards allowed. Texas, by the way, is third in that stat. They both stop the run. They have athletes that tackle great in space. There's no fat here, okay? So all of a sudden you're looking at this and going, how the hell is this number here? It's because Ohio State's offense just put up 41 and 42 in their last two games, and Texas had 39 and 38. So everyone's thinking the offense is coming here. Thank you guys for the free line. Got two top 5 defenses here, and I'm getting 53.5. Here's what I'll say, Lance. If people think Ohio State's going to cover this number and it might be a blowout one side of Ohio State, you might want the over. I think Texas is going to at least hang around until the fourth quarter. I'm going underball all day. That's where all my money's going, is the under. Won't fuck around with anything else yet, but I'm sticking with, I think I see the game going Ohio State money line, Texas cover.
Dude, underball. I'm shocked. 53.5 is the number. I'm shocked. I'm like, you would at least think high 40s. You would think 48.5 or one of those. 50.
So, I was terrified, Lance, because I'm going, okay, someone knows something I don't. But I just combed the last couple of weeks and it goes, no, this number got bet up to here. This is where the public's got it because that's where the points have been the last 2 weeks. But just look at the seasons.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I love the under there. And I was on +6 Texas. I loved it. I was saying, what? Will Howard's going to pitch 3 perfect games in a row? I don't think so.
That take two, Lance, got me going. Is like, I think the thing, the like elephant in the room, the thing hanging out there that makes you nervous on the Ohio State line is just, are they really going to pitch 3 perfect games in a row right here, especially with so much time in between games?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, well, if we get just a half dud from Ohio State, this is the easiest under ever, and I don't see Texas scoring 30. So if Texas isn't scoring 30, like what are we talking about here?
Yeah,
this is underball all day.
But this game screams to me like it'd be like a 17-20, 17-21 finish, and it's just an absolute just juggernaut slugfest. Line of scrimmage, it looks like war, like one of those just grind out games.
Some big time first downs late in the game is what
exactly. All right, man. Here we go. And, for everyone watching, college football playoff, Notre Dame. Texas to cover, I guess. Well,
an underball across the weekend.
Yeah.
No point.
Unders, Notre Dame cover, Texas cover, and we'll see a Notre Dame Ohio State final.
You know what bet I wish existed? I wish I could bet on 4th down stops in the next 2 games.
That would be
this round of the playoffs. I wish I could bet on 4th down stops. I'm predicting north of 4 4th down stops.
Imagine this. There's just going to be these like 4th and 2, 4th and 1. You just see these big boys just line up, and it's like, holy shit. It's just,
And then we're gonna get beautiful college shit where we're gonna get kickers missing kicks. We're gonna get a guy to hit a 60-yarder. We're gonna get a guy to muff a punt. We're gonna get it's all gonna happen.
yeah, it'll be just beautiful. It'll be just beautiful. All right, there's college football, Jack. We're moving on.
Quick peek in the waiting room again. I want to make sure if we're doorman's here, we're not making him wait.
Not there yet. We're waiting.
I need you doorman for the doorman.
Yeah, I'm the doorman for doorman. You want to lead us off NFL playoffs?
No, NFL is your venue.
Yeah,
you lead us off here. Take me down the NFL. The college football, I went and hammered the stats and did this. NFL, I'm eye testing and playing narratives and having some fun.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So game 1, Chargers -3 at Texans. I like Chargers. Yeah. Let me go into it. I thought you were gonna hop in a little. That's me. I don't think the Texans have shown that they're very good this year. They've won. Don't get me wrong. They're in the playoffs. They won the AFC South, which is also a pretty pathetic division. But what? Go ahead.
The most pathetic.
Yeah.
Between Colts, Jags, and Titans, you get 3 teams picking the top 6 picks right there.
Exactly. So the combination of injuries and an underperforming O-line, I think the Chargers win this one because, the Chargers O-line has looked great for most of the year, a couple games, but it's football. And then the defense, both defenses are really good, but then it starts coming to the where I have to bet on the quarterback. And I'm taking Herbert over CJ Stroud, especially this sophomore slump CJ Stroud. So, yeah, I like Chargers.
I should say I like Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert did play great in that Rose Bowl game. But in his NFL career, Justin Herbert has not had a lot of clutch moments. I bet on them to beat the Jags 3 years ago in his only playoff game to date so far, or 2 years ago now. And it was an absolute disaster of the second half if I've ever seen one. Headman, I'm forgetting his name now.
Staley. That
Staley,
guy, he was
Staley.
The curse. Get that shit out of here.
Staley was most the problem. The defensive personnel issues, lots of injuries were a lot of it. But Justin Herbert shrank in that moment. And as I look at Stroud, even back to his college career, balled in that playoff game against Georgia. They get walked off on missing the last second kick. And then he played great really last year in the playoffs in his run all the way to getting beat by Baltimore. So all of a sudden, I don't know. It's one of those NFL things, Lance. Home team with points in a game where I don't see either of these teams advancing beyond next week anyway. I'm tempted to take Houston right here. I think Herbert gets tight. Houston at home with the points. The thing that seems strange to me is Chargers to win this game comfy. That feels like the stooge bet to me. I'm getting in line with the rest of the idiots who are like, oh, duh, it's Harbaugh and it's Justin Herbert and this and that. Where I'm just like, well, this Texans team, Will Anderson, a hell of a pass rush. Kaimi Fairbairn, good from 63. I don't know. I kind of like this Texans team just to cover the number. Hey,
no, here's KG Little Joe's. If Herbert throws more than one interception, Chargers lose, but I'm jumping on the Texans. Remember that damn Jags game? I had to close one of my bank accounts because of that game. I'm on the Texans. So KG Little Joe's is tailing you, Jack. He's right. You guys are in the same boat, but I'm not flipping. I like Chargers. And you know what? Maybe I am the idiot because I was literally about to say, I'm like, I got Harbaugh, I got Herbert, I got Alt and fucking Slater down there on the O-line. And the defense, you get Mac. Bosa's still healthy, right? Yeah. Mac, Bosa, Derwin, and all the other guys that came along and have been playing well for Harbaugh. I'm like, it just seems like the Chargers curse. They get one win, everyone glazes them, and then they lose the next round. That's just that's how it plays. Keeps ringing in my head. So I like Chargers. You like Texans. That one we're at war, but at the end of the day, that game doesn't really mean that much for either of us. So.
Yeah, I will say Harbaugh won this game in his first year with the 49ers. They beat the Saints in this game. Vernon Davis catches a big-time touchdown going across the middle from Alex Smith. They did host that game. That was when they were the Texans. They were the winner of the shitty division, and they were hosting a good wild card Saints team. Now they're the decent wild card team going to the shitty team. It's just one of those things. Home field advantage in the NFL, people sleep on, but I don't know. I think it kicks you about 2 or 3 points, and you're giving me 3 already. That feels like a lot for some 2 evenly matched teams.
Oh no, and that's a great point. But if it's indoor, that's a big thing. It's like if the stadium, like, or if they were going to play in Foxborough or like one of these weather games, and they're from LA. But yeah, home
You're
field.
so right.
Yeah, home field.
Dome, yeah.
The
I don't know,
dome.
man.
It's like everyone. Yeah. No, but who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. I might take a look at some Joe Mixon stuff too.
Yeah,
Joe Mixon.
he'll be definitely utilized. I mean,
They sat him the last week too, so he's fresh legs. He's
Yeah.
got 2 weeks off on his legs. Yeah, I might like some Joe Mixon stuff out there. Take me to the next game.
Steelers at Ravens. Steelers are plus 9.5. I'll go first. I like Steelers plus 9.5 at Ravens. Yes, the Ravens are rolling, and the Steelers have looked miserable for the past 5 weeks. But I think Mike Tomlin gets this defense and those guys ready to go on that side of the ball at least. And let's be honest, Russell Wilson's not, he's not the X's and O's guy that's going to go down and dot you down the field, but he does make big plays in the playoffs in these spots. No one believes in him. He's rolling out to his left. There's absolutely no reason in hell the play should work, and he just whips it down there, and there's a George Pickens touchdown. I can just see it in my eyes. But yeah, so I like Steelers to cover, Jack.
You're nuts. And it troubles me that I'm coming after you, the NFL guy of the show. But this is Ravens.
9.5 is a lot of points.
They split this series already in this year. The Steelers aren't getting 2. And if you're giving me the Ravens already to win this game, I just see him rolling away with it. I think if you win this bet, it's because you're lucky. It's not because you're right. George Pickens has looked like such an asshole the last couple of weeks. Russell Wilson against that pass rush, we'll see. And then you're getting just the machine that is Lamar, who's committed to running more this postseason. And then you're going to get Derrick Henry in the tough yards. This to me is Ravens. If the spread was 10, we'd both be on the Ravens. Because it got to 9.5, you think the Steelers might be involved in this game, and then they're going to cover, and we're going to get a one-score game. It's the Ravens. If Justin Tucker's missing kicks, maybe I'm wrong. But he's looked pretty good as of late.
Hey, I got Boswell, the most for sure thing from 50 since God knows what. But that guy's, I guess, Tucker. Fuck, why not Tucker? But he's unreal. And this is just the perfect situation where Steelers are expected to do nothing. Everyone thinks the Ravens are just going to roll these Steelers. And this is when I like the Steelers, man. This is what we talked about earlier. We've come up with this philosophy. So 9.5.
It would be the most Steelers thing ever.
It would just to cover the 9.5.
They'll lose this game by 9 points. To lose this game by 2 possessions, but cover. That would be the most Steelers thing ever.
Good teams win, great teams cover.
We got to get some Steeler fans on the show. I have to understand the mindset of a Steelers fan. Like every year, are you talking yourself into like you're on a Super Bowl run, or you just know like this is going to die the first week of the playoffs, like it does every year?
Yeah, no, I mean honestly, we should because I've never met a real true Steelers fan, so I honestly want to hear their perspective. Like, are you you're 9-8 again? Are you like fired up? Is that a fist pump or are we fucking pissed? Like.
Yeah,
like what is this? What do we keep doing? Let's keep moving. Broncos plus 8.5 at Bills. I like Bills minus 8.5 here. Josh Allen at home this time of the year is not something I want to compete with. His dominance in the red zone will be shown, in the snow. I think, or if it does snow, I don't know how the weather looks, but and Bo Nix, I think if it gets to one of these weather games, I think he's going to struggle. I think he's going to struggle playing catch, the wind and all that. Yeah, no, I like Bills to cover.
This is a tragedy. We're again at odds, Lance, and I hate it. So a little bit of this is here's what happened. I'm in a Survivor pick'em league for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, within the next 4 weeks, you got to pick 2 spreads, 2 money lines, 1 pick a week. If you get it right, you get to survive to the next deal. So obviously, you play a money line this week and just try to make it, right? You push the spreads till the very end. You just try to make it. And I was debating between the Ravens and the Bills for the more obvious money line play, and I settled with the Ravens, partially because the guy conducting the league is a Broncos fan. And all of a sudden, I let that Broncos shit get in my head, and all of a sudden now I think the Broncos are going to have some fun and cover this number. Lance, God hates the Bills. Nothing is more true in sports. You ever watch The Four Falls of Buffalo? God absolutely hates the Bills. And the Broncos are playing good ball to close the season. Like, you go back and look at that Cincy game. That Cincy was on it.
Oh, you got called? Well, folks, Jack is paused at the moment. We'll wait for him to come back. But yeah, KG, I agree with you, man. It is a blowout game. Give me the Bills. Josh Allen. I'm not doing that. I watched Bo Nix in that offense. Like, there's nothing special there. A guy like Sean McDermott, a defensive coordinator like that, he's going to read him. That's easy schemes. You're not going to just throw fucking pissant screen passes against
Possibly
me.
A little Mims.
There he is.
He's been coming on late.
Wait,
did all that?
Yeah, it all froze. He just came back right there.
Oh my God, I've been just selling my fucking Broncos bet.
I'm sorry. I didn't know what happened. It just disconnected. You were going, and I was honestly just talking to KG like, well, we'll wait for him to come back.
I didn't have the heart to tell me.
I couldn't. I was sitting here. I was talking the whole time, but you were frozen.
Oh, where did I cut out?
You cut out basically.
God hates the Bills.
Yeah, like right in that.
Broncos are playing good ball.
Yeah, right there.
Did I get to Bo Nix legs are a problem?
No.
Okay, well, Bo Nix legs in a game like this are going to be a problem. Where you get everything covered up, it's perfect, and the only thing not covered is quarterback run. He's going to pick up big-time yards, keep Josh Allen off the field. I'm taking his rushing numbers, and I also like a little Mims receiving numbers, who all of a sudden is getting really hot. Those numbers, if you've been following, are usually hanging around like 45, 50. In the last 3 games, that guy's been kind of the go-to guy, and Cortland Sutton's gotten a little quiet. So maybe a little Mims, definitely some Bo Nix rushing. And I like them just to stick around in this game. That's all I'm asking for, is just to stick around. Let me see Josh Allen ice it with the quarterback third down late in the game, and I'm good.
No, that easily could happen. Like that doesn't sound very shocking to me. But for some reason, I just have a feeling like the Broncos Super Bowl was making the playoffs. And now it's like these Bills, these guys are trying to go win this fucking thing. They're just going to take your head off. So we'll see. And there's also a huge chance it could be one of those gnarly weather games. And it's like,
I'll tell you this too. It's interesting. We might have to keep eyes, because I don't, like, early in this week, I don't know about basically the back end of these playoff teams. I don't know how to compare the middle of the league to the bottom and to the upper, because there were just so many garbage teams this year.
Mm-hmm.
We went through how many 3-win and 4-win teams there are. I mean, the teams drafting in the top 10 are all just pitiful this year. So how many of these wins came against bad rosters? And all of a sudden you fucked around and find yourself with 9 wins and the right, stuff. Yeah, there may be a massive difference between the Broncos and the Bills. But I think they're playing here's the point. They were picked to go 5.5, and they're playing their best. They way overachieved, and most of that is credit to the back half of the season, not so much the beginning. It's when Bo Nix has gotten right. So they're going to come in and compete early. I'll say that.
Hey. And and that's another point. Shout out Broncos, shout out Bo Nix. I got friends that just absolutely rave over this guy because, Oregon. Jeez, those ducks. There's something. Being a duck it's like a cult, man. Like, these guys are freak shows over their athletes. Freak shows. Like, anything. Bo Nix could fart a certain way, and my buddy's like, "Oh my God!" It's bizarre, but. Good season for Bo Nix, good season for the Broncos. And you'll be back and better. They're only getting better from here. I mean, they're already still sitting on Russell Wilson's dead cap weight. Like, there's still, so there's only upside. So good for you guys. Good season. See you next year. We'll go to Cancun. So, all right. Next, Packers plus 4.5 at Eagles. So this is tough for me. I've been flip-flopping in my head a little as I keep looking at it. But I probably am going to go Packers plus 4.5. I think because I
agree on something.
Yeah. I think this game comes down to Jordan Love. But if I get a Jordan Love that's like, hurt, injured, kind of second guessing his throws, like things like that, then I'm pretty damn worried. But if Jordan Love's playing like the rising star he has been for the past couple seasons, like the bright spots, the good-looking times, I think the Packers will actually outright win. And because it's hard to beat a team twice, and the Sao Paulo Brazil game featured these two teams, and the Eagles got the best of them. So
the Eagles got the best of them, and it was against a team. Jordan Love didn't play that fourth quarter; got hurt in the third.
Yeah, and then what's his name and in the head coaching battle, I go LaFleur over Sirianni, and. If Jordan Love's playing like basically his game, I go Jordan Love over Jalen Hurts. And then on all the other players, I mean, there's a lot, but I like Packers here.
Yeah, I like the Packers to cover too, Lance. I'm excited we finally agree on something. It's tough for me to say on money line because I do think about that Sao Paulo game. I think about this being the second matchup, and I do think Matt LaFleur, for me, it's tough to keep him off a top 3, top 4 list. Of coaches right now in the NFL seems to continue to do it with less. Last year they had like 7 rookie receivers. They had like 12 different guys catch touchdowns. Like Jordan got the best out of Jordan Love, obviously, after giving him a big time contract. So it's interesting. Like I'm prepared to almost go Packers money line and see it that way and just close my books on it. But I will say every time I've watched the Eagles play this year, their defense has been super, super impressive. Don't want to get cut off there.
No, you're all good. I hear you.
Perfect. I watched him play against the Ravens. Ravens scored late to try to get an onside kick there, but to that point, with some Justin Tucker missed field goals, they held the Ravens to 12.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a legit defense. I think LaFleur will be able to scheme some stuff up, and we'll get some points out of it. But I think maybe the best bet on the board is going under the 45.5. Gun to my head, I think Packers cover. It's really tough to say on the money line. But the fact that the money line makes me hesitate makes me just think, well, I'll just take the 4.5 and call it a day.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's a guy named Saquon Barkley on the Eagles who could easily just pop off for like a 150, 200-yard masterclass and just control the game. Then we're sitting here like, oh, shit. Like, how could we ever bet against that guy?
Well, there's that, and we've seen decent highs out of Jalen Hurts, which just hasn't been there this year. So we're expecting kind of a meh performance from Hurts. If that guy's, anything like he was on the Super Bowl run, this game's already over.
Yeah,
this game's already over. They're going to cover that number and be good. I'm anticipating kind of a meh Hurts. They're trying to run the fuck out of that zone read with Saquon Barkley. Packers are able to kind of give up some yards, but hang in there because they're not giving up a ton of explosives. It's just kind of wrapping up, tackling everything in front of them. And then on the offensive side, LaFleur able to scheme some shit, get them going, and have this be a field goal fourth quarter game, which covers the 4.5.
Yeah. Love it. Love that we're on the same side here too.
Yeah. This next one's fun.
Yeah. Commanders +3 at Buccaneers. I like Buccaneers here, Jack. Bowles won a Super Bowl as the D coordinator for the Bucs and with Brady. And if you go back and watch those playoffs, that defense was easily the reason they won that Super Bowl. I know Brady's the go and all that, but that defense, that run, that was insane. So I'm betting on Bulls here to defend Jaden Daniels. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's going to figure out the way to contain Jaden Daniels' legs as best he can. Levante David and some of these veterans on the defense, I think they show up. Vita Vea. Yeah, I think they show up and I think they can come out and win. But the -3 is a little tough because I feel like it could be a field goal game, like right there towards the end. I like
I'll
Bucks.
tell you what, dude, you swung me.
Yeah.
I had trouble picking the spread too for that reason because I just saw a lot of points. But you swung me. I think Todd Bowles late versus a rookie quarterback. That's the answer.
Dude, I watched him just smoke Mahomes in that playoffs on defense, and I'm like, this guy, he's a real guy. He's legit.
Yeah. Now we just watched him kind of struggle against the Saints. I think they've got some injuries in the back end, and then they certainly don't have the same linebacking core that they did on that playoff run when it was Devin White and Levante David who were running sideline to sideline.
Yeah.
So the scheme's going to be great, but the personnel is only so much you can do. So my favorite bet on the board, I'm going over ball. I think this game is going to be the most fun we're going to have with any of these games the entire week. 50.5 is the number. I think one, if not both teams, Lance, are going to get into the 30s. For a second, I was going to say I lean Commanders because I think it's a fourth quarter game, and I think last team wins with the ball kind of wins kind of deal. And so with that, I'll take the team getting 3 points. But you swung me. I think late in this game, it's Jaden Daniels. He's going to have to beat you with the arm as well. And you start seeing some exotic playoff defenses. I think it's just going to be a bridge too far for him. I do think, though, we're going to walk away from it going, holy shit, what a player. Because it's legs. I think the stats are going to be out of control. But I think fourth quarter, give me Baker with the experience and all that stuff. Give me Todd Bowles, a Super Bowl, part of a Super Bowl winning staff. That whole organization. They're prepared. That was winning this game and going back to next week where they'll likely play the Lions again is exactly what they had circled since they got beat by the Lions last year and they were leading in that game. So and honestly, I think that's the game everyone else wants to see. I like the Bucks, but I like it kind of within that 3-7 number. Bucks might be a good team to tease if we were looking for a good little teaser across the board. But I really like that over, Lance.
Yeah, no, the over, you're 100% right. I mean, both these teams have just been electric on offense and their defense. There's just been weird moments and just spotty, like the DBs just aren't, like, they just get aired out on. So it's a little tough, but I like Buccaneers. You like Buccaneers. We like Buccaneers. Go Bucks. Last but not least, Vikings -1 at Rams. First, Rams house. It's Rams. Hammer Rams. I have no bias. Get the Rams. Just blindly. No, obviously, this is my team. Of course, I'm betting Rams. I'm not thinking with KG. Rams all day. Come on. No, that's it. Just Rams house. That's the one thing I have in our notes about talking about this game. Whose house? Rams house. Yep.
So
right, go ahead.
Rams after beating the Bills in a shootout game, both teams go over 40 points. They go undefeated in the month of December, and their defense becomes the story. So I was wanting to be Rams guy all fucking day in these playoffs, and then they drew the team that I think is going to win the NFC is the Vikings. And I've really pushed myself into this. The only thing that stands in the way of the Vikings being the team is Sam Darnold getting tight and not playing well. Yeah. This game, he's coming home to play in LA. Remember, this is the guy that broke the Rose Bowl passing record against Penn State in the biggest game of his life to date at that point. Threw 5 touchdowns. I was sitting with the current record holder when it got shattered. Now he's been through the ringer in his NFL career. He's battled back all the way to this point. And all the way to choke it, I don't see it. I think he's going to play great. And if he plays great, how do the Rams beat the Vikings?
Hey, I agree with you. I've always been a Sam Darnold fan. I mean, the guy came out of San Clemente, went to USC. I'm pretty sure I might have been at that Rose Bowl with you when he played Penn State. That game was unbelievable. I honestly don't even think he's going to get tight or anything. I think Stafford unleashes a little this game. The past couple weeks, they've played a lot of power run with Kyron, a little pussyfooting. I think McVay, Stafford, these guys, like this game, and after those couple weeks of just not just kind of motionless offense, it's just going to be a dot sesh. Just boom, boom. I see this game being a lot better offensively than you would think because these teams have been dominant on defense in the month of December. So I like honestly, I don't know what the number is. I forgot the number. I thought we had it right there. But I was thinking overball and Rams.
Well, we got 2 of the best offensive coaches in the league right here in McVay and O'Connell. So, and then the quarterback play, I don't hate over here at all. I think this is the game I'm most excited to watch. And I genuinely think, because I don't think taking the Rams is a bad play. I can talk myself into that all day and have. They just got the Vikings, so all of a sudden I've talked myself into being the winner of the NFC. I think regardless, whoever wins this game is who I have going to the Super Bowl as the NFC champion.
Hey, I like that. I like that. KG Little Joe's firing a little bit. Let me get some of these out here. If the Redder, oh, this is all I missed. KG, that's my bad, bro. If the weather is really bad, take Allen 3+ touchdowns scored. Wow, Jesus, think about it. 3 touchdowns for
round.
Yeah,
I don't hate that at all.
yeah. Bears mess the Packers heads up. Eagles all the way. Interesting. Where's James Morris? I think he'd have something to say about that. KG Little Joe says, I don't trust Baker Mayfield in a big game. I like Washington to win outright. Interesting. Okay. Okay. And then KG Little Joe's Rams all day. The true Darnold is showing up on Monday Night Football. 11 for 32, 135 yards, 2 picks. Jeez. Doing Darnold dirty, but Rams all day. Yes, sir.
I agree with KG's take starting next week. Last year, he played great in the wild card round, and then actually played really good in the divisional round too. But they were big time underdogs in both games. Now you come in as the favorite. I think they play well this week. I think next week's the game you start seeing the Baker turn back into the pumpkin.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that fully. All right. Well, there it is. There we went through NFL, we went through college. That's about all the football that's left, folks. So we did just about everything we could. We have Thursday night picks, but my Thursday night picks Notre Dame. I'm just hopping in. That's the whale. I'm fucking throwing a lot on it because why not? It's fun. We're having fun.
This is going to be a big time win where we get Vegas. We're fading Vegas here. It's rare that you get them. We're going to get them on Notre Dame right here. I'm with you on Notre Dame, taking a money line. Under 45.5 all day. Notre Dame, Penn State. Riley Leonard over 13.5 rushing attempts. It's because we're getting in the victory formation at the end of the game, Lance, and taking 2 knees to hit 15 rushes on the game. Jeremiah Love, healthier than people are giving him credit, over 33.5 yards rushing. Jordan Faison, over 40.5 receiving yards. I actually have a sneaky bet out there, Lance, at plus 800. He's going over 100.
That's
plus
good.
800. I'm living $13 to win 100. And Ohio State money line versus Oregon, because you need another game if you're going to play this action. Want to parlay and get a parlay? Go ahead and take Ohio State money line and tack it on to any of those that you like. And that's our Thursday show, Lance. We have 5 such good nights. I'm trying to speed through this outro. Really quick before Doorman never made it, did he?
No.
Okay. Yeah, teams are coming on the field here in 5 minutes. I want people to be able to place picks, get some food, get settled into a situation. We got a great football game coming in front of us tonight.
Yep. All right. That'll be all, folks. You want to hit the outro, Jack? Or
yeah,
as
always, that was brought to you by Wanna Parlay, home of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay, where every day people are turning $2 into $2,000. We had tons of special shout outs and newly rich men and women to celebrate today at the midway point of the Wanna week. Long legs again, congratulations. Quit ducking me on the interview, Viviana. I want you on here. We got to talk. I got a bad feeling you're a burner account. I can't have that. I need you on here. 15 sharp 15. First time seeing them in the winner's circle. Congrats, winning $250. Kendall Jane 6. You get a pass this time. It's the first time I've reached out, but we want you on the show as well. Wins $200. Now at 460 already in 2025. Congratulations, Kendall. Parlay Royale, long legs again. Keep rubbing it in my face. You're going to respond to my text one of these days, Viviana. It's going to happen. Quit ducking me. And then Maria Trail 5 still hanging in there with the 78.32. Very gettable, people. Main event is wide open. That is gettable. Hundreds usually win around here. Be shocked to see that last the weekend with all these great games coming up in front of us. Go after it. What's it cost you? $2 for a chance at $2,000? Get nuts. And then, obviously, I'm throwing some venom out there. It's tough pressure to come off Lance and I, but it's a cool deal, and something we love doing is having the Wanna members and any member of our audience out here come on and talk picks, talk about their parlays at Wanna, and talk about some of their wins, get to celebrate and speculate on future picks down the road as we finish up football season here and start getting into the dog days of basketball, start getting some baseball, spring training going, all the good stuff. And don't forget about hockey. We need sport back on here ASAP. But please, when you get the chance, come on the show. We're dying to interview you, get some clips put together, make our bosses happy, all that good stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. I appreciate everyone for joining today's show. KG, always a legend. And we'll see you next Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific, right? Yep. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, that'll be all, folks. Salute. See ya.